What's going on, Giants fans? Back at it here with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some off-season news that has been circulating around the New York Football Giants and the media world, of course. But before I dive into much, make sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Big Blue Avenue. And also make sure to check out our proud sponsor, BetUS. You can sign up with that promo code right there at Join125 to get a 125% sign-up bonus where you can bet on the go anywhere at any time straight from your mobile device. That's BetUS, where the game begins. So the big news of today is the Daniel Jones contract rumors. So I want to address these. It was rumored this morning, a report from Mike Florio that then circulated the internet and people got all crazy over it, is that Daniel Jones wants around $45 million a year. That is not going to happen. I'll just say it straight right there. It's not going to happen. And I want to take you through this tweet. Now, I don't use Twitter too much outside of the account. My personal account is pretty much dead. But let's take a look at this tweet and break it down. This is from Dov Kleeman. Update. Giants quarterback Daniel Jones wants more than New York has offered him. We don't know what the Giants have offered him. It says possibly as much as $45 million per year or more. Possibly, a source tells Mike Florio. Now, I'll be straight, Mike Florio. Again, I don't like saying anything negative about people in the media, but Mike Florio has said things before that haven't always been 100% accurate. So I don't know if I would fully believe this statement. Also, the key word here is possibly, guys. Possibly. We don't know. They're likely going to meet in the middle. And if you look at the quarterback market right now, you have guys like Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott each making $40 million a year. So don't be shocked if the deal is around $40 million a year. I think realistically it will range anywhere between 35 and 40. Now, they can tag Daniel Jones, but the tag will cost a little bit north of $32 million. And all of that salary will count against this year's cap. So what that means is you take $32.4 million out of that 45 million we have in cap space, and now you're sitting with about 12 to 14 million for free agency. Now they can cut Kenny Golladay, they could extend Leonard Williams, they could do things like that. But if you franchise tag Daniel Jones, there's more negatives than positives that come out of that because you'll be in the same exact situation next season. Realistically, I think the Giants are going to extend him. I say between $35 to $40 million is the number. If you want an exact number, I say 37 or 38 million for DJ is appropriate. Now, other news around the New York Giants. Running backs coach DeAndre Smith has joined the Indianapolis Colts, and this is very interesting. Shane Steichen immediately brought in Smith. They worked together at UNLV. Smith just spent 1 year with the Giants, helped Saquon Barkley regain his footing as an NFL pro. Barkley had a phenomenal season. He's up for a contract as well. Now, does this move affect him? I'm not so sure. Barkley's had a number of running back coaches in the past. So it'll be interesting to see. The Giants' rushing attack did rank fourth in the NFL last season. I would love to keep Saquon Barkley, but financially right now, I just don't know. A franchise tag on him will be about a little bit more than $10 million. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to pay him $14 million. I don't. Apparently, he turned down a deal that was around $12 million. If I'm Joe Shane, I'm going nowhere north of $13 million. And as of right now, it's looking like Barkley's either getting the tag or he's getting let go. The leadership is irreplaceable from him, but you look at teams that have won Super Bowls over the past 15 years, and their running backs don't make a whole lot of money. You want to free up that financial space to allocate towards other resources, not to mention the Giants have 9 draft picks this year. Do I want Barkley and Jones both to stay? Yes. Do I think it's a very realistic shot that only one stays? Yes. It can be true. If I had to guess right now, I think Jones is definitely staying. I think Barkley, 50-50, guys. I wish I could be more confident. I know we have a lot of Saquon Barkley fans on this channel, but it sucks. The NFL's a business. Crazy how far the market has come. Other news, Brian Daboll's son, Christian Daboll, former grad assistant at Penn State University, has been added as an entry-level offensive assistant. Good for him. Happy to see that. Obviously it's Daboll's son. Hope he can bring some of what Brian Daboll brings. Again, entry-level role. He's not going to be doing anything crazy. I know some people are upset about it. Some people like it. Indifferent about it. We'll see. I'm happy he's on board. Daboll's son. That's awesome. That means the Giants trust Brian Daboll, and we all like Brian Daboll, don't we? So not much else to say there, but Christian Daboll did go to Penn State. Should be to see how that unfolds. And there are some good rookies coming out of Penn State in this year's draft that the Giants might have an eye on. For instance, Joey Porter Jr. at pick number 25. If he falls, hey, who knows? Christian might have a word on that. The last block of this short segment here, the Giants have re-signed tight end Lawrence Cager, guard Jack Anderson, and wide receiver Isaiah Hodgins. Very excited that all three of these guys are back. Lawrence Cager this past year played in 6 games with 3 starts. He had 13 catches for 118 yards and a touchdown, played 203 offensive snaps. And again, all 3 of these guys, folks, were exclusive rights free agents. I believe there was a 4th that might have been Wyatt Davis, but he was signed to a reserve future deal. Now, Cager's 25 years old. I thought he was very explosive. Again, he played both receiver and tight end at Georgia. I think more receiver, to be honest. He's a big body, and him and Daniel Jones had some good chemistry. He definitely had some good chemistry. Next up, Jack Anderson, guard. 12 games. To my recollection, he only started 1 game, which was on Thanksgiving. But then I thought about it. I'm like, oh, crap. He started week 18 when the Giants played against the Eagles, I believe, when Davis Webb was starting. So, Jack Anderson, 12 games with 2 starts, 147 offensive snaps. We all know he was pointed out by Brian Daboll on that 4th and short where he had the false start. But again, he is a Buffalo implant. I thought he did a good job as a reserve offensive lineman. You want depth at the guard position. I expect Jack Anderson to make the team next year and be a reserve offensive lineman again. Happy for him. Isaiah Hodgins, this is the one that I love. 24 years old, 10 games with 5 starts for the Giants, and what he did in those 10 games was astronomical. 37 catches for 392 yards and 4 touchdowns. That was tied for the most touchdowns on the Giants. He had 48 targets on the year. And, of course, both games he played against the Vikings were phenomenal. But in particular, the playoff game, he had 8 catches for a career-high 105 yards and 1 touchdown. And a lot of people who didn't know who he was know that he came from Buffalo. But what they didn't know was that he was really good coming out of college. I had him mocked to the Giants when I believe he was drafted in 2020. So I had him mocked to the Giants as a 5th-round pick. I believe he went in the 5th round to the Buffalo Bills. So I'm happy for him. I think he has a legit shot to be a starter next year. Him and Wan'Dale are currently the only Giants receivers of note on their contract. You also have guys like David Sills and Mekhi Polk who are signed to reserve futures. And then there's the draft. And then there's free agency. We don't know. Do the Giants bring in a free agent receiver? Do they re-sign Darius Slayton? What about Sterling Shepard, right? His contract was voided. He's officially a free agent. A lot of people aren't sure what the future is for him. So there's a lot going on right now. Oh, yeah, I forgot Kenny Golladay, but I'm expecting him to get cut. That's why I'm not including him in that list right now. But, yes, technically he still is a Giant. So Golladay, Wan'Dale, and Hodgins are technically the only 3 Giants under contract at the wide receiver position. So I think Hodgins can have a big role. I think his ceiling is a number 2 receiver in the National Football League. I think his floor is a 4. I would be fine if he was a 4. I would love it if he emerged to be a number 2. Him and Daniel Jones had a lot of good chemistry, very reliable hands. So I'm excited that all 3 of these guys are back. And folks, Before I sign off, going to do another video soon on a free agency preview, some free agent targets that I think could fit the New York Football Giants. And then, of course, we're going to do what we did last year. We're going to break down some NFL draft prospects that could potentially fit in with Big Blue. Folks, appreciate all the support. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Big Blue Avenue. Excited to see what the next coming days and weeks hold for this football team heading into 2023. And without further ado, let's go Big Blue.